Beatrice Eneje, also known as BB Eneje, is an accomplished communication executive with extensive experience aiding brands, businesses, and individuals in establishing their presence both globally and within their respective markets. Over the years, she has demonstrated a talent for guiding multiple organizations in defining their unique identities amidst a crowded landscape, ensuring their voices resonate effectively. Committed to the growth and all-round well-being of communications professionals, Beatrice played a pivotal role in the PRO is not a press release campaign, positioning herself as a leading authority in the industry and raising awareness about the crucial role of publicists and communication professionals in today's society. Driven by a passion for facilitating self-expression and amplifying voices, Beatrice is dedicated to empowering individuals to articulate their narratives in any setting, whether in boardrooms, corridors, or public forums. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Beatrice Eneje.
Okay, hi. Thank you very much for that interesting introduction. My name is Beatrice Eneje. Well, I usually prefer to be called BB Eneje. Welcome to this session on personal brand communication for the future of work. I'm quickly going to pull up my presentation. Um, Thank you very much, Andrew and the team, for putting this together and getting me to go through this topic. Personal branding is something that I've been doing for quite some time now. It's a very exciting and stressful thing to do, especially when you're doing it for other people. But it's also important to help us stand out in a crowded marketplace. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so the world of work is undergoing rapid transformation. We can see new technologies, different industries are learning and evolving and taking more innovative approaches. And many employers are looking out for a different set of skills that are not necessarily technical in today's landscape. So one of the core things that many people look out for is a strong personal brand, and it is crucial for success in today's world and the future of work. Before we get right into it, I'll just give you a brief about me. Before the titles, I'm a young Nigerian who is passionate about helping other young people see their light. I love to tell great stories, and I do so via my profession as a public relations consultant. Um, I believe that one way that we can help position Nigeria as a respectable global force is to repair our reputation as Nigerians. And storytelling is one way to do this. I value excellence and I try my best to do that and showcase excellence as a Nigerian wherever I find myself. I'm currently the co founder and CEO of The Work Haven. I'm a lead consultant at Cora and Hive PR, and I co founded the Table PR community. So that's a bit about me. Now, let's get into it. What is personal branding? It's essentially the public image that that you curate or cultivate that reflects your skills, your experience, and your values. It's about strategically influencing how others perceive you, particularly in a professional context, which is what we're talking about today. Um, Many times when people hear personal branding, the first thing they think about is a fancy logo or my brand colors and things like that. But it's usually coming from the inside out. It's your skills, your experience, your values. How are you going to position or put those things together in a way that people can perceive you as somebody that they want to work with? So yeah, why is personal branding so important? Sorry, why is personal branding so important? So there's a Global Institute report that projects that by 2030, a lot of people would be displaced from their jobs by automation. Earlier last year, a lot of graphics designers and artists had this frenzy about how AI was about to take their jobs. Um, However, while this automation may take out some jobs, it will only also create new ones with greater emphasis on soft skills. Now, these soft skills include critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. Building your personal brand in a way that reflects that some of these skills are your core strengths would help you attract more opportunities. Now, why is building your personal brand so important? It would help you, when you curate your personal brand in a proper way, you will stand out from the crowd. If you were, thank you, Esther, thank you. If you were to be in a pool of applicants and you had a properly curated brand, um, you stand out from the crowd and you make a good first impression. So people then want to talk to you. It's not like you're trying to struggle to get into the door. People want to talk to you because then you look like someone who understands where they are going to. And so people want to ride off on that. Um, the other reason why it's so important is that when you have a properly defined online presence or even a properly defined brand, it's easier for you to connect with other people. Like I said, when you stand out from the crowd and people feel like they want to speak to you or they want to know you, it's easier for you to build relationships from there. It's easier for you to improve your network from there. So it's important to have a properly defined personal brand for you to then open yourself up to these opportunities. Putting together a personal brand also helps you demonstrate passion and initiative. Now, if, like I said earlier, it starts from the inside out. When you know your values, when you have experience, when you understand the skills that you have, you're able to articulate it in a way that people know what you are passionate about. And then they see that because you've been able to put these things together, they feel like you have all the sense in the world. Like, I know it doesn't sound like it's supposed to be complex, well, but it's not complex. That's the truth. When you look put together, people feel like you understand where you are going to, and it's a lot easier for you to take on roles, take on jobs, build relationships, take on opportunities from there. Now, all of these things are important, but then it's important for me to also show you actionable steps for you to then start to build your personal brand, especially at the level that you are, which I'm guessing are people who are undergraduates or earlier or fresh graduates or people who are currently serving or looking to get into the job market. The first thing you want to do when you're putting your personal brand is not to look for your favorite colors to create your logo. It's to first identify who you are. Identify your strengths, identify your weaknesses, identify your goals. Some questions that you can ask yourself are: what am I good at? What kind of career do I envision for myself? What do I want to change in the world? What do I know? What do I not know? What do I need to know? When you're able to answer these questions, you're able to then understand what you need to improve on, what you know that is what you know that is marketable or sellable as a skill, and then you know where this skill aligns when you know what you want to change. The next thing that you want to do is to craft a compelling online presence. A lot of things have gone digital, I mean, including recruitment. It has gone digital, and many times it's not even human beings that are sorting through your CVs when you drop those applications. So you need to be able to craft a compelling online presence or a compelling presence that articulates the things that you are good at, articulates your strengths in a way that aligns with the industries you want to go into, the companies you want to go into, what are the cultures, what was the culture of the company that you want to go into. You need to be able to craft your presence in a way that aligns with these places that you want to go. Some platforms that you can use to do this are your LinkedIn and other social media platforms like your Instagram. TikTok is not only for dancing, so you might want to consider curating your presence on these platforms in a way that, highlights the things that you are good at, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you know that you can change, and the things that you are looking to learn. Um, I would say you could also explore the option of starting a blog or setting up a website. Now, it might sound very large and overwhelming to you, but it's not that complex. There are free sites that you can play around with. These include Medium and Substack. If you're a very good writer, you're able to put your words down very concisely, and people can understand what you're trying to convey. These platforms can help you put out content on things that you know. So for example, if you're interested in public relations and you had probably studied mass communication or any of those disciplines in the university, it'll be great for you to then explore the topics that are trending in the news, in the public relations industry, some things that you think, based off of your understanding, that are happening to maybe celebrities, maybe governments, and maybe just your everyday influencers, the way that those things that they do affect the market, affect their respective industries, and give your 2 cents, give your understanding or your take on these topics. Put them down in a very concise article, put them on Medium or on Substack. The truth is, you're not trying to be an influencer because you might not be gathering thousands of followers or thousands of readers immediately. But if you then go into a job interview and they want to ask for your experience, even if you do not have 1 year or 2 years experience working in an organization, you have some form of track record that they can look back on and see or understand what kind of mindset that you have, understand how well you think or how broadly you think or how deeply you think, and maybe understand what areas that you need to improve on. So it makes the conversation with you it takes a little higher than your regular interview, and it just positions you for better opportunities. The next thing that you'd want to do to set up your personal brand is to network actively. Now, you can do this by attending events. You can do this by volunteering with initiatives that align with the things that you're passionate about. Because if you have figured out that you're passionate about, say, climate change, it'll be good for you to volunteer at events or at initiatives that speak to these topics. You can join communities. I know that Go a Bit Further is building a very strong community for young graduates and undergraduates to help them with things like this. So you can be active in communities like this, be active in communities that are industry focused as well. So if you're looking to become a HR professional, you should be able to go onto LinkedIn, look for the groups that talk about human resources in Nigeria, in Africa, and globally. Join those groups, listen to what they're saying, read up on articles that people are sharing, read up on people's perspectives, and then you can be more informed about the industry that you are looking to play in. Build meaningful connections. Networking has been very bastardized. People feel like it's just going to events and, oh, here's my complimentary card, or here's my business card, or follow me on Instagram, or accept my connection on LinkedIn, and then that's the end of it. But you need to take it a step further if you're looking to then build a brand that sets you out for opportunities, for opportunities that align with where you're going to. You need to be able to build connections way past just Instagram likes or YouTube comments or LinkedIn thumbs up, because it's important, because many of these people are the people that will recommend you for opportunities. They're the ones who would share opportunities with you, and they're the ones that may put you through the things that you need to do. Say, for instance, you attend an event and then you meet someone who has possibly gone through an application process for a scholarship for an MBA in a foreign country, and this is something that you are looking to get. It will be good to build a connection or build a relationship with that person so that you can then learn the steps that it would take for you to get closer to achieving that. Because if someone has experienced it, it's easier for them to tell you, this is what I went through, this and this and this are the mistakes that I made, and I think that you shouldn't make these mistakes. So if you build these relationships, it's easier for you to get this information. Earlier today, my husband posted something about how the more informed people can, take a ride on the less informed people, more or less. And to be honest with you, that's essentially how things work in the corporate space, in politics. If you are more informed, you can get access to more opportunities, you can save your life, and basically just live a better life all in all. Now, tips for using social media. Okay, before I get to that, there's a bonus. I know I spoke about writing a few minutes ago, but if you're not very good at writing or speaking articulately, it's important for you to try as much as possible to learn these skills. Communication is a very, very strong skill that is needed in the future, in the workplace today and in the future, right? If you need to learn how to write, take a short course on writing. There are very many free courses on Coursera. You can pay for some courses on Udemy. If you don't want to go that far, you think that that's not, you may not be able to follow that curriculum. There are many writing focused communities. You can find them on LinkedIn, you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Instagram. So if you're using your social media wisely, I'm sure that you will find these things. And if you don't, you can also ask people for help with finding this information. So learn to write properly, learn to speak properly, and present yourself in a way that you are then memorable for good, and that you seem confident. So that's my bonus. Now, up to my next point of how to use social media, tips for using social media. Um, it's normal today to go on people's Instagram pages, and then you see maybe a picture of a flower, and then like seven pictures are like pictures of flowers. And okay, so who are you? What do you do? Um, you need to look at your social media platforms as your virtual CVs, or well, CVs are virtual, but then look at it as your digital CVs, right? Somebody can find it at any point in time without you even sending it to the person. So somebody used to say something to me when I first started public relations. So whenever you're writing something or putting something out there, put it out with the mind that it will be out on the New York Times tomorrow, or it will be out on TV tomorrow. So whatever you are putting out, be sure that you want it to be something that people will see. That's how I think you should treat your social media platforms. Now, the first thing I think you should do is to have a clear professional headshot or image. It's important that when I come to your page, I know what you look like, and I can see your face clearly. If you go for if you need your international passport, they need to see your face clearly. So it's the same. I think you should take the same approach or the same seriousness to your social media pages. I should be able to know what you look like. I should understand who you are, what you stand for, and what you know. So this is where utilizing your bio to showcase your values, your interests, and your expertise come in. I I mean, I love God, but if I come to your bio and the only thing there is Jesus baby, I literally don't know what you do. Well, we don't, there's no job role as Jesus baby anyway. I'm sorry. So it's good, it'll be good for you to then write what the write what you know how to do, what you are learning or whatever. Please try as much as possible to not write aspiring content creator. It won't help anything. You are still aspiring, you haven't tried content creation, or you aren't interested in content creation. You see certain people's bios and they say, I'm passionate about art, I'm passionate about storytelling, I'm passionate about building or preserving nature and giving us a better earth to live in. I feel like that's how you can write your bio if you're not going to be writing anything about your experience if you don't have any experience. It's also important to not write things like CEO of Bedazzled Jewelry, because I don't know Bedazzled Jewelry, or I'm sorry if you're a CEO of Bedazzled Jewelry, but if you are looking to get into the job market, you should highlight the things that people would be looking out for. So I will not go to maybe Instagram or LinkedIn and type bedazzle jewelry. I'll probably look for a HR professional. I'll probably look for human resources. I'll probably look for finance expert. I'll probably look for banker. I'll probably look for digital marketer. I will not look for CEO bedazzle jewelry. So these are some points to help you utilize your bio to showcase your values, your interests, and your expertise. The final thing here would be that you should share relevant content. It's important that you share relevant content. Now, I'm not saying that you must become a content creator and post every day. Quite different from it. Now, relevant content also means that if you took a course on writing on Udemy, you can come to your LinkedIn and post an article about something you learned about writing effectively for brands on LinkedIn. That's a relevant article because it showcases that you are learning, it showcases that you are interested in storytelling for brands. It showcases that you are ready to take a chance on yourself, and so somebody can then take a chance on you. So that's what I mean by share relevant content. And when I also say share relevant content, it's great that you're a great dancer, but to be honest with you, if I'm on your page to look for a candidate and the only thing I see is 27 videos of you twerking, I'm sorry, I'm gone. So you also need to remember, I said, think of it as whatever you put out is going to be on the New York Times tomorrow, it's going to be in Times Square, it's going to be on YouTube tomorrow, and you didn't know how it get there. So you did know how it got there, sorry. So think of your content like that. Now, on this page, I've screenshot the profile page of one of my favorite LinkedIn coaches or LinkedIn influencers. Her name is Halma. I'm sure a lot of people know her on LinkedIn. If you go to her bio, the first thing you see there is the cover image that says LinkedIn Visibility and Growth Coach. Now, this is the part where you can put whatever it is that you are interested in. You can write climate change activist or eco champion or whatever it is that you are interested in. You can put it up there so that the first thing I see when I come to your profile page is the description of what value you offer. Now, over on the right, you see that she said, I've helped 2,000 plus profession, 2,000 plus personal and business brands grow and attract their target audience on LinkedIn. Low key, she has told you that she can help your life. And so it's easy for you to say, well, let me follow this person and see what she's talking about. And then opportunities can come that way. Now, if you look down further under her name, she didn't write um I'm a Jesus baby and leave. She wrote every other thing that she did. Influential LinkedIn trainer, number one LinkedIn growth expert nationwide. Then she added God's own. So you see that I did not say that you should not be Jesus baby, but again, she wrote that she's a genius. She helps C-level executives, business owners, freelancers, and likes position themselves on LinkedIn. So this is what I mean by utilizing your bio to showcase your expertise, showcase your interest, and then showcase your values. I hope that this is as clear as day. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And now, in conclusion, I would like to remind you that building a personal brand is not a one day, one stop thing. You don't just go and put pretty pictures and put a nice bio, and that's the end of it. It's an ongoing process. And by actively managing your online presence, honing your communication skills, and continuously developing your skills, you will be well positioned to navigate the ever evolving world of work. Remember, your personal brand is your own story, it comes from within. I said that. Tell it with authenticity, tell it with passion, and tell it with purpose. Thank you very much. I know this was quite brief and straight to the point, but I'm happy to take any questions that you have. And I hope that this was clear enough for you to understand and take actionable steps on putting your personal brand together. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Mr. Andrew, do we have any questions? Okay, so I see a question that says, as a university student with a busy schedule, how do I go about it? Okay, this is quite interesting. I think I would say that you're never too busy for something that you're interested in or passionate about. If you are really serious about putting your brand together in a way that you effectively communicate your values, I think that you would try as much as possible to make time for it. It doesn't have to take the whole day. You can allocate 30 minutes a day or 1 hour a day to actually putting this together. Now, if you're not able to do this 1 hour a day, what you can also do is pick a day in the week when you are maybe a little free or you have a bit of a lighter schedule, and then batch create. This is a thing that content creators do a lot. You see a lot of content creators posting every day, back to back, back to back. They didn't create that content that day. Well, sometimes they did, but most times to ensure consistency, they create their content way ahead of time. So if you know that you want to post on LinkedIn 2 times a week, or 1 time a week, just for starters, you can then take one day in your month and write out 4 articles based on the things that speak to your passion, speak to your values, speak to your experience, speak to your interests. You write these things down articulately, concisely, and then you can. There's a scheduling feature on LinkedIn. Now, I'm just using LinkedIn because I'm talking about positioning yourself professionally. You can do this with Instagram. You can do this with any other platform. If you're able to batch create this content and then spread it out across the days that you want to post, you have more free time to even create more time to create more content for the future. Like I said, you can't be too busy for something that you are truly passionate about. So if you're interested in doing this, then I would advise that you would find time to do this. And trust me, as a university student, yes, you are busy, but the moment you step out, you will become busier. Trying to get your job done and trying to get your adulthood in check. So it will be good for you to cultivate this habit now so that it can be a little easier for you in the future. Because once you create structures, a couple of things fall into place without having you, stretch yourself too thin, just trying to meet up or play catch up. So I hope that answers your question. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Okay. So, how do you build a brand on LinkedIn about a career path you are interested in but have little practical experience with? Very interesting question. Like I said before, if you're interested in something, it'll be great for you to then learn about it. Um, Fun fact, a lot of things I know about public relations I learned online. I learned via YouTube, I learned via Udemy, and before I even had practical experience with an agency. So if you're able to learn these things and then talk about what you are learning on your LinkedIn profile, this can help you open you up for opportunities. The other way is if you have interest in a particular career path, I think you should study that industry. Study what people in that industry are doing, study what they're talking about, follow up with news concerning that industry. And one way that you can then get yourself in is to give your own take on the things that happen in that industry. You can be as clear as day and say, look, I have no experience with this, but this is what I think about this situation and how I think it could have been handled better. That actually positions you as somebody who understands where you're going and sees and thinks critically, which remember when I said it's one of the top skills that employers are looking out for. I hope that answers your question. Okay. What are the things I can do as a university student to curate this content that make people see me as someone of value when all I do is attend classes? What else can I do to have these experiences? That's great. As a university student, I know that you can as well attend events. I mentioned that earlier, and you can volunteer and join communities. When you are part of the things that are happening in the industries that you're interested in, you get to have information, you get to understand certain things at a different level. You get to interact with people in that industry. You can ask questions, you can learn from them, and then you can curate your content based on your understanding of the things that you have learned. Um, I think one thing I would like to point out is that you don't necessarily have to start off as an expert. Nobody starts off as an expert. You have to start from somewhere. And if you're currently in the university and you're building this bank of content, by the time you have done this for 6 months to 1 year, even you would look back and see the growth in how you were thinking, the growth in the things that you knew, the improvement in the way that you communicate your knowledge. You would look back and you will see the growth in all of these things. So I think that you can start by attending events, volunteering, joining community so that you can build your network and interact with people in the fields that you're interested in. And from these experiences, you can then build your content. Awesome. Okay, so should I leverage all platforms or there are platforms that work? All platforms work, but you have to choose where you want to show up and why you want to show up there. Now, there are studies and there are articles that you can read up to help you understand where your target audience or where the people that you want to be speaking to are. So for instance, I focused on LinkedIn a lot because um, I'm speaking to people who are looking to get into the job market. And LinkedIn is one of the biggest platforms for finding job opportunities, for interacting with industry leaders. That's why I focused on LinkedIn. Now, if you have any other aspirations or plans or passions that probably align with a different platform, then you can take a step to say, I'm going to showcase this content on this platform. That's how you sort of decide where to show up. I don't think anybody should be everywhere, but again, if you do have the strength and you do have the bandwidth, you can go as far as you can carry yourself. How do you build a brand on LinkedIn about the career path you are in? Okay, I think I've answered this question, Bella. Okay. Yes, commit to learn about the career path, take courses online, study the industry, think critically, and share your opinions on the happening in that space. Very, very correct. Thank you very much, Bella. Thank you. How can one join communities on LinkedIn? Okay, great. Blessing. So if you go on LinkedIn, say you're interested in public relations, what you can do is go on LinkedIn and search for public relations. A couple of things will come out. Individuals who have the word public relations in their bio will come out. But if you go down a bit, you would also find groups that are focused on public relations, and then you can just, some of them you have to send you have to click and send a permission to join, and then the admin will add you. But then a lot of these groups you can just join in for free and join the conversation and learn things as they go. The other way for you to join communities is to ask people what communities they're part of. So if you're on LinkedIn again and you're interested in, say, data engineering or things like that, you can connect with people who are in that industry, send them connection requests, reach out to them, introduce yourself, and ask them if they know any communities that they think you should be a part of, to improve your chances to get closer to opportunities. Yeah. Thank you very much, too. Thank you very much. Go a bit further. This was actually amazing. Thank you, Mercy. I appreciate. Thank you very much. Shola A. Thank you. I hope this was as insightful for you, and I hope that this made sense to everyone. Thank you, Favor. Thank you for joining in. Right. So I take it that we have no further questions, and I would exit the floor and hand it over back to Mr. Andrew and the team. Thank you very much. Okay, how can you connect with me? So I'm mostly on Instagram and LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I'm Beatrice Miangogo Eneje. But if you type Beatrice Eneje, you'll still find me. And on Instagram, I'm Eneje, Bibi.Eneje. I'm mostly active on Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you have any questions that you probably need more details on, you can send me an email at miangogobeatrice@gmail.com. That's miangogo Beatrice at gmail.com. And I'll respond to your questions. You're welcome, Blessing. Thank you so much, Esther.